Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Ember Lore. I review horror movies anywhere from D-list to cult classics to psychological thrillers. If you're into that kind of thing, be sure to subscribe. Today I will be diving into one of the wildest, weirdest zombie movies I have ever seen, Return of the Living Dead. If you could stick around to the end of the video, I could really use your help on suggesting what movie I should review next. We meet Freddie, and he just started a job at You Need a Medical Supply. His trainer is Frank, and Frank is that type of coworker. When they train you, they tell you things like,
Now you're not supposed to do this, but this how I do it. Now you also not supposed to do this, but this how I do it.
and you can't tell if they're kidding or not. So Frank is like, "You want to see something cool?" And he takes Freddie down to the basement. What's down there? Oh, just a couple army barrels filled with corpses, totally normal for a medical supply store. Freddie asks Frank, "What is the weirdest thing you've ever seen while working here?" And Frank responds with this big smile. You could tell he's just been waiting for someone to ask him this. He starts off with this, "By the way, Night of the Living Dead was based on a true story." He then tells Freddie, back in '69, the Darrow Chemical Company made this little substance called 2,4,5 trixin for the army. It accidentally leaked into a morgue and started to make the dead bodies twitchy. The movie's creator almost got sued and was threatened if he were to tell the truth. That's why he had to remix the movie. The army was trying to keep things under wraps and they shipped the chemicals, except there was a mix up and the chemicals got shipped to You Need a Medical Supply in Louisville, Kentucky. And Frank has basically been babysitting him for 14 years. So Freddie's like, "Do they leak?" And Frank, with the confidence of a man who has clearly never seen a zombie movie a day in his life, says, "These were made by the US Army. These don't leak." And to prove his point, he slaps one of the barrels, causing it to leak. Not only that, they're immediately knocked out. The gas fills the warehouse, soaking into everything: the dead body in the cold storage, the dissected dog, the pinned butterflies, everything. Minutes later, Frank wakes up and he realizes that the body that was inside of the barrel is now gone. But for some reason, he assumes that it melted. So either he didn't believe that story that he told Freddie about Night of the Living Dead being true, or he just thought maybe the barrels were old enough that it actually melted. I don't know why he would just assume that. Freddie is also waking up and they hear whimpering. So they go upstairs, they see the dissected dog wagging and twitching. Not only that, the butterflies are now fluttering on the pinned wall, and that dead body that's in the freezer begins to pound on the door. Frank grabs a crutch and he starts beating the dissected dog, but it's not changing anything. This dog is still moving. Freddie suggests that they call the police, but Frank is worried about the company's reputation. Also, they're not supposed to have these barrels in the first place, so he decides to call the boss, Bert. Bert arrives and he is pissed. This could possibly draw a lot of unwanted attention to the company. But he figures this will be an easy fix as long as they can destroy the brain. It'll stop the body from moving and they'll go on with their lives. So they open the door and the body immediately charges at Bert. Bert hits the body in the head with a pickaxe, but it keeps moving. So then they decide, okay, let's sever the head. So they do that. It's still moving without a head. Now it's time for plan B, burning it. So the guys haul the body away to Bert's friend, Ernie, who runs a crematorium across the street. At first, Bert is trying to say that they have some animals that they want to get rid of, but then an arm pops out of one of the bags and it's twitching and not connected to a body. At this point, Ernie was like, "Yeah, cremation's right this way." You would think at this point, problem solved, right? So the smoke from the cremation mixes with the rain, and the rain just so happens to be right on top of a cemetery where Freddy's friends happen to be hanging out. And once the rain soaks into the ground, the dead bodies start punching through the grave. Freddy's girlfriend Tina goes to the warehouse looking for him, but she runs into the barrel zombie and she hides in one of the cabinets. Just a few minutes later, the friends all happen to arrive to the warehouse also because the car wouldn't start. As they arrive to the warehouse, they hear Tina screaming. Once they get downstairs, they see this zombie ripping open the doors to try to get to Tina, and one of the friends step in, but he gets a chunk taken out of his brain. Meanwhile, Freddie and Frank are getting pretty sick. At one point, the paramedics are called to check their vitals, and the paramedics say that they're pretty much already dead. They have no heartbeat, no blood pressure, and the paramedics are stunned they're even speaking. In the cemetery, things are getting very chaotic at this point. These zombies are not your average zombies. They're fast, they can talk, they're really smart also. At one point, the paramedics had to step outside to call for backup. The zombies ambush them, and one of the zombies pages for more paramedics to show up. The zombies are coming from every angle. Bert, Ernie, and Spider decide to barricade all of the doors and windows to try to keep all of these zombies out. One of the friends gets bitten by a zombie, and the zombie accidentally gets pulled inside when they pull back the friend's body. But thankfully, the zombie only had half a body and no legs, so Ernie decides to grab it and strap it to a table and ask it, "Why are you guys eating people? What do y'all want from us?" And the zombie is like, "We don't want your bodies, we just want your brains." Apparently, eating brains helps ease pain for the zombies when it comes to rotting. Apparently, rotting is very painful. Eventually, a couple of police pull up and they scope the scene, but not for long, because they were ambushed almost immediately. And after being ambushed, the zombies radioed back to the station asking for more backup. Like, they are having a full feast tonight. Freddie and Frank get moved to the chapel, and Tina is refusing to leave her man. She wants to stay by his side till the very end. And unfortunately for her, she does. Freddie begins to turn full zombie and starts to chase her, and now he wants Tina's brain. Luckily, Ernie and Bert are able to come in and rescue Tina from Freddie, but after seeing this, Frank is like, "Oh no, I can't go out like that," and he cremates himself. Bert, Spider, and Ernie are trying to figure out a way for them all to escape safely. I mean, they are literally surrounded by zombies. They see one of the police cars is still running, so that obviously means the key is in it. They just have to make it to the cop car and they'll be home safe. Spider and Bert make a run for it, and they make it to the police car. Tina and Ernie hide in the attic because they're not able to make it to the cop car with all of the zombies surrounding it. Spider and Bert head to the warehouse, and once they're inside, they meet two of the other friends that have been waiting in there. This is when Bert finally decides to bite the bullet and call the military. He dials the phone number on one of the barrels and he gets in contact with Colonel Glover. He explains all that just happened, and the military assures him not to worry because they already had a plan for this. They've actually been waiting for this to happen and waiting for this very phone call. Don't get too excited. The military solution to this is an airstrike. So they drop the airstrike and obliterate pretty much everyone there. And once they drop the strike, Colonel Glover calls his boss to let him know, "Hey, there was a problem. We took care of it. Don't even worry about any fires breaking out because it's raining." But mind you, the smoke mixing with the rain is what caused all of this to begin with. And this spreads across multiple cemeteries. Although this is the ending for the movie, we know this is not where this story is going to end. And that's the end of Return of the Living Dead, where the solution to a zombie outbreak is to create more zombie outbreaks. If you stuck around this long, this is where I could use your help. I don't really know what I want to watch or review next, so here are the three movies that I'm considering. Comment which movie you would like to see me review next, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.